Neil from the Green Room podcast here. Hope you're enjoying Recharge Festival, and thanks for taking a break to check out this panel. I'm stoked to be joined by Jodi from Sault Restaurant in Daylesford. Jodi, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. Pleasure.
Look, I know we've just met. I was having a look at your website right before we did this, and I haven't had lunch as we record this, which is a bad idea because the restaurant looks amazing.
Thank you.
So first of all, congratulations on the success of the restaurant. Do you just want to give a quick rundown of who you are and what Sault has been all about this last 14 years, I want to say?
Yeah, sure. So my husband and I own the restaurant together, and the backstory is that we got married here and then fell in love with the place and bought it, but there's a lot more backstory to it than that. But our passion was to create Sault to become more of a destination place for food and wine, and to really celebrate what we can grow at the restaurant. So in the last few years, we've planted over 40 kitchen garden beds. So we grow a lot of our own produce here that then lands on the plate. And so, our whole menu is designed based around the seasonal produce we're growing here. So we really wanted to create an overall dining experience for people in that way, but also a really beautiful place. Sault's based on 120 acres. We've got lavender fields, sunflowers and poppies. So a really overall experience for guests, yeah.
Wow. I mean, we do want to kind of shine a light on the great work that regional producers like yourself are doing. And you mentioned that before, local produce. How has the COVID pandemic taken a hit on what you guys do there?
Yeah, it was quite a rude shock to go from trading as a restaurant, being busy, Melbourne, guests are driving up and supporting us, and then to suddenly go into lockdown. And in that period, though, I think out of moments like that, greatness can be born and amazing ideas come out of like sheer desperation. So we sat around with our chefs who we have such respect for and figured out what Sault would look like. And sort of we've christened the produce store, which we created, like the heartbeat of Sault. So the restaurant's closed, but there's this tiny heartbeat still continuing on. And that to us has been produce from the kitchen garden that we pick each weekend, fresh bread that our chefs are baking, take-home meals. Our pies have become quite infamous, chicken and leek from the garden, the beef bourguignon, and so people are coming in and stocking up on this produce Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So that's what we've become, yeah.
When you mentioned that before as like what Sault would look like, is this, I guess, a strategy that you guys will implement once this pandemic finishes? Like, have you guys learned a lot of good things about how you can still operate, especially with local produce moving forward?
Most definitely. I think that we'll continue having a takeaway, like a small takeaway amount of food, so that when guests leave their dining experience here, whether it's a 7-course tasting menu, which looks quite different to a pie and soup, but they can take home some sort of feel-good food that's created here. And also we're using vegetables from local growers as well, eggs grown down the road at the farm. So we'll have a smaller version of the produce stall still available for guests to access. Yeah.
Right. And how have you seen the community response as far as engagement with your restaurant during this time?
It's been amazing. We've met a lot of locals that we hadn't met before. A lot of our locals sort of steer clear of Daylesford on the weekend because it's so busy with tourism, but we've had some amazing articles written in local magazines in Daylesford, one of which is called The Local, outlining that we are a family business, and the produce stall is really approachable and easy to wander through. It's a couple of guests at a time, so the locals have felt really comforted and safe to get their takeaway food here. And the support's been overwhelming. So even if it's a couple of locals now that walk down for a piece of pumpkin, takeaway coffee and a chat, that's become something that they've looked forward to. And in turn, we've had time to really talk to customers and listen to their stories. So it's been a really beautiful period in that respect.
I mean, it kind of seems like you guys have really turned a negative into an incredible positive. Do you have a message for other local producers and especially restaurant owners about what they can be doing or maybe should be doing, especially during this time and after?
Yeah, I feel like creating things that are accessible to everybody. I think because we have high-end style of dining in our restaurant, but deconstructing that and showing people that at the end of the day, it's accessible for everybody, I think, and using what's around you. We are so lucky. Like, I know you're based in Sydney, we're Melbourne based, that Daylesford grows some of the most amazing fresh produce. We're up so high that it's just clean air, and supporting local growers. So I think that as businesses going forward, it's really important to not lose sight of what we've created in this period, and to continue that on in a form that's still manageable in our day-to-day lives. So,
Jodi, I saw on the Sault Facebook actually that you guys have finally been able to restart weddings at the venue.
Yeah, so we've had a few inquiries now for ceremonies, which has been really gorgeous. We've got our chapel overlooking the lake. So yeah, I've actually got onto a couple of couples today about, and they're so excited too to actually be able to celebrate their day. So that can continue, which is great.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Jodi, thank you so much for coming by today. We really appreciate your time. If you want to hear more about Sault, check it out at sault.com.au. Did I nail that, Jodi?
Yay, yes.
Oh, good. All right, Jodi, thank you so much again. Keep up the good work. And yeah, we know you guys will come back bigger and stronger than ever after this pandemic.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks, Jodi.
Thank you.